We are Half a Bite. Do you know someone with that sense of entitlement?
How many Karens do you have in your life?
Starting deep today.
Oh yes, today we're going quite deep.
Quite deep.
We're going to talk more about ourselves, what we think.
Yes. Oh yeah, a disclaimer before we start.
Yes.
Yeah, we are no gurus, we are no psychologists, psychiatrists, we are nothing like that. We are just Peachy and Queen here. So we're just going to share whatever we know and what we feel about it.
Yes, this episode is more about being vulnerable.
Yes.
Not us being vulnerable, but we are diving deep into a certain issue that we find it quite common nowadays. That's happening in today's world. So yeah, disclaimer, like what she said.
Disclaimer.
I'm also not a doctor, but I think we are a realizer. We realize what's happening in our life,
Yes,
and we put them into
content.
Put them into
Yes,
content.
to share it out to people around us. So tell us about the time where you last met someone with that sense of entitlement and they felt that they needed that special treatment.
To be very honest, maybe I'm not aware that there are many people around me that actually need special treatment. Among my family members, we would notice very quickly because we know our family members for a very long time already, all our life actually. So I do have family members who feel more entitled than the others. That means we give special treatment to a certain family member because we know that if we don't do this to this person, it will hurt their feelings. Or if they don't do this to me, it might hurt my feelings or so ever.
Oh, that's because you know that person.
But also in a way, right, if you want to put it harshly, it also means that they are more entitled within the family members. But because it's within your family members, it's tolerable, means you can take it. But when it happens to people around you, especially close friends or colleagues, people you see very often, it is actually very difficult. So when you were asking me entitlement, I only thought of just a few person in mind, so not much.
So I feel like entitlement came about, this term came about I think recently on TikTok, on Instagram, and it's not so much spoken about very long time ago. So I feel like this sense of entitlement thing came out from the Gen Zs. Have you watched Baby Reindeer? I'm not sure if you watched.
I have,
the
because you told me to.
Yeah, the Netflix series, yes. So in that series? Yes, that main character had that sense of entitlement. Not sure if you guys know about it, you can watch it. And I feel like it's a very Gen Z thing where we are aware, we know like, oh okay, this Karen, we call anyone Karens with the sense of entitlement.
If you don't know what Karen, maybe you can refer to our
first episode.
1.
Yeah. So the person that Karen with that sense of entitlement, and we as Gen Z, we will know like, okay, I identify it, that's Karen. That's the person with sense of entitlement. I want to leave, I don't want to be close with this person because no one like people with that amount of sense of entitlement.
I think Baby Reindeer itself, right, if you have not watched it, be careful. If you're like me, right, I don't really like, is it a thriller? Do you consider it a thriller?
Yes, it's a thriller, psychologist, it's dark comedy.
Dark comedy, yes, and it's very real. That's why to me, right, it was a little bit gruesome to watch. My acceptance level very low.
But it's a true story, so that might haunt you also, like at the end.
And also, it's very interesting. Actually, it's a very interesting story. I think Baby Reindeer is just an expression of what you said, expression of mental issue on the out that came to light, which I find it pretty astounding when I watch it. Whoa, it gave me a big blow up. So yeah, like you said, it came into the light, I think in the recent 10 years only, if you ask me.
Yes, that's true. So if Baby Reindeer came out like 10 years ago, I bet no one will understand. No one can resonate to it that much. But now, in this generation, in this social media thing going on, I feel like a lot of people start to know about it. They sense it, they know about it, they resonate. They're like, okay, I can identify this person similar to whatever traits that is on the character itself.
So Gen Z is very mental health aware. Can we say
are,
that?
yes, we are. I think there's research that shows also we are very aware about mental health, and we talk a lot about it because it's actually an issue. It's actually a health issue. It's not just something that you can just put aside like 10 years ago.
10 years ago, mental health was not something that we mentioned regularly. When we say mental health, right, when I was young, mental health is something serious, we're talking about somebody being a little bit cuckoo, somebody who has...
And it was taboo, right?
It was a taboo, yeah. And it was seen as a disorder. Like depression is an obvious disorder.
Okay.
When you have a split personality, that is an obvious disorder. That's when we label somebody as having a mental health issue. Back then, it was not being seen as one. It was not even, we didn't even know. Like, okay, for example, right, whenever we're upset, or whenever we are going through certain struggles, right, we don't see that as something that we need to deal with. For example, when I have a struggle, that problem, right, I need to go through the process of struggle and then come to a resolve to it, right? So throughout the entire process, right, the only thing that really matters in our mind is the result. How can we overcome this as soon as possible? We don't think about the process. How am I supposed to console myself? How am I supposed to help myself to go through it? Our parents will never tell us that. Our friends will never. It's always the comforting part where we think we are supporting you. It's okay. You can do this.
And that's it?
I'm here with you. That's all.
Okay.
You could probably do this, probably do that. We were told that all these feelings that you're feeling, right? Being upset,
it's not a feeling.
Handling stress, can't sleep at night. It's not a feeling, but it's often neglected, ignored, and it's being seen as very common. Yeah, for sure. For sure, you can't sleep.
Everybody has this problem, not just you.
Insomnia was not a big thing. I had a 3 months insomnia, so serious. There was a period of time, I think, a couple of years back, like tracing back
3 months with insomnia.
Very badly, because I was haunted by a lot of things at that time. I couldn't sleep very, 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 very badly. It was a very serious issue. But when I told my mom about it, I had so many sleepless nights and I ended up crying. I woke up the same time when the Muslims wake up and pray, 6 a.m.
6 a.m. in the morning. But what time do you go to bed?
I can't sleep.
Also, like the whole night you were just like that.
I would try to sleep every night. I still try to sleep because your parents keep telling you grinding. There was no way, there was no solution, and we didn't even look for
any
outlet. We don't know how to. I prayed, of course. Religion, faith does help me a lot in this sense, but it was just me going through the process myself. And of course, my boyfriend back then, he helped me a lot, which is my current husband.
Okay.
Current sounds like I have a couple of them. When I heard our last episode, right, I keep saying
current.
No. But yeah, at that time, he was the only one who helped me. But even so, he didn't know what is the right solution. There was no solution to it. I didn't even know insomnia is a mental issue.
Oh,
can you believe that?
Okay.
And when I told my mom about it, right, she's like, so? It's very normal one. You just have to grind through it lah. You have to be strong.
Work it out, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
My mom was like, be strong. Instead of telling me what should I do or helping me through the process, her way of telling me what to do is be strong. You just have to deal with it.
I think a lot of Asian parents do that, okay? Maybe not just this generation, that generation. A lot of parents, because most parents are in your generation. So it's like basically millennials, or even baby boomers and so on and so on, okay? So how they deal with it, from what I know, is to like work through it, work it out, baby. You're not supposed to feel sad. You can only cry for 10 seconds. That's it, stand back up,
Exactly.
That's the way. But for us, Gen Z, I feel like we're actually breaking stigmas here. We're making a very major shift in our generation, where we're okay to not know what to do. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to not know what's your next steps. It's okay that you have sleepless nights. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel that emotion. And yet it's okay to not feel okay after 10 seconds.
Do you know that, this line, it's okay to feel not okay, it's actually very helpful. It was at that time when my sister came into the picture during that insomnia period. I think because she reads a lot of books also.
Yeah.
She reads a lot of psychological books. She's also very aware of mental health. She was the first in my family that actually brought things up that, hey, we should look into it. She's 1 year younger than me.
Oh, okay.
We are very close now.
Okay.
So what happened was she told me, and I was crying to her. I said, I haven't been sleeping well for nights, and I do have a medical condition that is concerning. If I don't sleep right, if I'm sleep deprived, it does cause it would worsen my situation and condition.
Okay.
So she told me, you know what? You have to accept that you can't sleep. Don't force yourself. Every night having this in mind, saying that you can't sleep, you're gonna haunt yourself before even trying to get a sleep, or before you can comfort yourself you can actually accept that you can't sleep, and you have to get over it, and it will eventually get over it if you accept treatment, or if you found a way, to
get out of
it. Yeah, exactly. So the moment she said that, I broke into tears, And then I realized that
You felt relieved. Was it like immediately?
Exactly. It's okay. The word is it's okay. It's that simple, yet it's so difficult.
People tend to think that Gen Zs have we don't have any major problems with our lives. We are not at that stage where we think too much. We're not at that stage that we face a lot of big, problems. But actually, I feel like everybody face certain battles in our daily lives. And the way Gen Z deal with it, it's like we flow through it.
But do you think Gen Z has too many mental health issues?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot.
Like everything is a mental health issue.
Because everything comes from your mind, I feel.
Really? But to us it's like, so many excuses.
Have you seen that TikTok where they say, I can't come into office today, and then the supervisor asks like, why? And they just mention like, I don't feel great today.
Exactly, I saw.
Yeah, but it's true. If you don't feel good today, how are you supposed to be productive? Okay, so in a way, we are...
But what if you don't feel good every day?
That's another case. But I'm just saying like, it's actually a valid reason. So that's why I feel like there's a lot of companies that implemented the no limit leaves, this kind of perks in their...
Still got
it. Like there's no limit to how many days leave you take.
There is such a...
they implemented, it's starting.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of new companies, more Gen Z based companies, they have this perk. Yes, because that's what we need. If we can finish everything in 2 hours and like a whole week worth of work in 2 hours, because AI, tech, whatever came up, we can finish the work in 2 hours. Why not we take the other time to do what we are meant to do? So we have this kind of thoughts.
But at the same time, they have to also be able to deliver the results.
Yeah, definitely. I believe Gen Zs, we do deliver.
Because I think to them, right, mental health could be as simple as I couldn't handle stress.
Yeah, it's that simple.
That was not being recognized or in my life being labeled as an issue. It was never a health problem.
Yeah.
It was being seen as you should do that. It's very normal.
Stress is normal, but the person that handles the stress, can they actually handle that? That's the issue.
But that's also an issue with Gen Z, I feel. Because everything they label it as a problem, they do not have the resistance towards it. For example, I think that their stress resistance level is actually very low.
But the only way to overcome that is to be aware. So it's good that we are aware.
Okay.
The first step is to be aware and to accept it. So I accept that I'm stressed, rather than you knowing that you're stressed and you don't accept that you're stressed.
So it's healthily managing your stress.
Yes.
It's different from us. We were told to do that. So we were doing it unhealthily, which means a lot of ways we're settling problems with struggles. I guess that's the biggest contrast here. And at the same time, I think one thing good about all this, right, if you're looking through what she said, right, beyond words, is that I find that you guys actually appreciate yourself
a lot. Sometimes too much.
Sometimes too much. Yes,
I'm a bit stressed, so I need to have love for myself, so I don't work. Things like that.
Sometimes that's a bit too much.
Too much.
But again, like you said, being able to recognize that you are having a stress problem, you are upset, you're having a very bad day. In a way, you're appreciating yourself. You're aware of what you are going through, your well-being, and you're appreciating what you need.
Yes, and I feel like that's a sense of self-love, don't you think?
Self-love?
Yeah. Do you guys talk about that a lot for your Gen?
We recognize that. Talk a lot about that. I think we're trying to implement that a lot. Self-love is important. A lot of us talk about it, but it's actually rather new. A newly introduced concept into our life. A recent 10 years, like
thing.
I said.
Yeah. Because I feel like there's a lot, like what you said, sometimes too much, okay? So Gen Z, we tend to have too much or way too much of self-love, and that can actually cross the line of what self-love actually is. So for you, do you think that what's the definition for you, like self-love?
For me, self-love it can be simple, can be very complicated also.
Okay.
Simple self-love is very simple, like treat yourself well, buy yourself a gift. That could be simple. But if you want to talk about a higher level of self-love, it could be celebrating your faults, celebrating what you have overcome. This is what I felt over the years, because we do not talk about, every time when we praise somebody or compliment somebody, it's always the end results that they see. Wow, you're doing so good in this. But they don't recognize the entire process. It is always us that is going through the process that knows how much we have done to overcome and fought that battle. So I feel that for me, right, we should celebrate struggles. So we have a struggle, you recognize the process, and one thing I've learned, to trust the process. Trusting the process is also very mind-blowing. Whoa, how do you trust the process, huh? Trust that you can actually go through this by doing this step by step, like you said, accepting flaws in between. And then at the end of the day, if the result turns out well, we should celebrate ourselves.
Yes.
And if the result does not turn out well,
it's okay.
It's okay, but we mourn about it. It's okay to mourn.
Yes.
I just found out that, hey, this is actually a way of self-love.
It's okay to mourn. Yes, that's true. But do you think there's a fine line between like self-love and being narcissistic?
Last time when we were way younger, if you know, right, it's called shock sendiri.
Yes. Very shock sendiri.
Narcissism was not seen as a problem. We said, you like to take selfies.
Too much.
Those of us like to take different poses. Last time we used to take a lot of printed photos together. If you take so much photos, right, unlike now, right, it was being seen as, this person very shock sendiri. We use it as like, it's
a bad thing. Okay.
She's super narcissistic way. She keeps taking photo of herself. Oh my god.
Yes. So that's why I say there's a fine line, because self-love people, right, they post a lot. Like, okay, today I'm doing this. I'm sharing this love with you guys.
But this is actually a concept now. Last time it was just like a statement. But now it's being recognized as a thing. I didn't know until she told me about it. I'm like, how narcissism is a thing?
It's a very big thing where sometimes people can feel uncomfortable. Yeah, but I feel like, do you think yourself, do you have a lot of self-love for yourself?
I think 50
again? Why her answers cannot be like a date 100?
I don't think I have a lot of self-love for myself yet.
Okay.
Because a lot of time I'm pushing myself. Is pushing myself towards limits or pushing myself to do more, is that called self-love?
Pushing yourself is good, it's self-love, but pushing yourself too much is not self-love.
Or sacrificing your own well-being just so others feel better. Sometimes I do that.
Okay.
I'm a people pleaser in a way, especially in my family. I think it's a family thing also.
It's okay because now you're accepting yourself. Because she admits, okay, some people don't admit whatever it is. Okay, so let's just have a quick alignment here, okay, where I search on ChatGPT, that's what Gen Z do. Okay, so self-love, for what I've researched and saw, is a healthy practice of accepting and appreciating oneself. While narcissism is an unhealthy obsession with oneself that often stems from low self-esteem. So from this, what I can see that both, it's where you guys are at your lowest point. Okay, so
true.
You are all very at the lowest point, but just one, you have a positive reaction or respond to it, while the other one is where you have a very unhealthy response towards it. So let me ask you, do you think self-love is accepting your flaws and strengths, while narcissism is to believe that you are perfect and superior?
I think I'm more towards self-love.
Yeah, that's true, okay.
Yeah. Accepting my flaws, I think there's a measurement of how much you can accept yourself in that matter also. It's also part of self-love. It could be self-love category, but how much am I there? Maybe I'm not 100% yet. But yes, accepting my flaws, including accepting your body shape.
Was it easy for you?
It's not easy. So that's why I said I'm not 100% yet. But I think I can accept.
You're working towards.
I'm working towards it. I know my flaws. Like, for example, if I know that I'm not confident enough in saying yes to myself, not accepting that. People, I actually realized a problem just last week.
Okay.
There's a drama teacher that told me this. She said, I told you you're good. Can you accept that you're good? I'm not saying this because it's just a general compliment, but you are good. You know, it kept coming to your mind because it's very normal. I tell you, people would say, hey, you're actually good you did a good job. And then you say, really? No lah. It's very natural that we always say no lah, no lah. In a way, right, we were brought up that way. We got so used to it. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary, humble.
Yes, unnecessary.
Humility, yeah.
And then I realized that I should also accept my flaws and
your strengths.
My strength.
Yeah. It's okay to be good at it. Why are we always pushing that away?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people, like we are so used to saying, oh no lah,
Correct.
okay only lah, you know, we're always like that. But why can't we be like, I don't know why, but maybe in like Americans or British people, they are like, oh thank you, they actually accept whatever people compliment them. But for us, we are like pushing it away somehow.
Correct.
Why are we doing that?
It's a culture thing.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, this is not even about the generation thing
That's
anymore.
right.
It's really the culture thing.
That's why what I think you said is true. Self-love is about accepting yourself. That's true.
So for me as well, I feel like I'm not very good at accepting myself that well as well. So for example, like what you said, the body shape. I used to be very chubby, like to an extent where I'm obese lah. Okay, during of time is that I chose to go and work out. I made choices for my life lah. Like I changed my entire lifestyle, the food I eat and things like that. And that's because I want to love myself more. Because I get it, okay, like we care about how people think and so on. But at the end of the day, it's really you accepting yourself, you accepting your flaws. So that time I chose to change my entire lifestyle to what it is today. Even today, I'm struggling with it. Like, of course, we want to eat unhealthily. Of course, we want to be responsible with our diet, our lifestyle. Why not just go home and just sleep on the couch and, you know, chill and relax? Why do you want to go and work out and things like that? I mean, for you, right? Like, why do you guys want to work out so much?
And if you ask me about you, is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I would think, wow, she's working out a bit too much. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit too much because I make choices every day to show up there, to show up to the studio.
Gen Z.
I pay a commitment fee to go because I know that I will be lazy if I don't. So I made all these choices because I want to love myself a little bit more, in a sense where I want to accept my flaws. I want to accept that, yeah, I am very insecure with my body. So I want to work on it. And I'm okay to go to studio, because some people are very afraid to go to studios because they cannot accept how they look. So they rather stay at home and do nothing about it. But I feel like a form of self-love is when you do something about it. When you do something about it to yourself and tell yourself like, I can be better. And that's my form of self-love.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because you love yourself, therefore you want to improve to be a better version of yourself.
Some people don't though.
Really?
Yeah, some people don't. Some people just accept that they are like that.
Actually, they are happy also, you know, in a way. If they could accept that they are like that, for example.
But they're unhappy in that state.
Oh, if they're unhappy, then it's not healthy.
Yeah.
But if they're happy being who they are, that's fine lah. That's
where the narcissism comes in. When they see that you are doing so much and they're like, 哎呀，你这么瘦了啦， why you 还要做那么多？哎呀，像我这样子我都不用。And that thing just comes, and whenever I sense that type of people in the room, I just cannot take it. Like, if you want to work on yourself, work on it. You don't have to come in and, you know, step on people to feel better about yourself.
Superiority.
Yes, they want to feel superior.
Okay.
All about it, and people like that, they tend to preach a lot on self-love.
They do?
They do.
I think that one is loving yourself a little bit too much, to an extent where you want to, you know, self-love, when you talk about that, self-love is allowing yourself to shine and also embracing somebody else, your friend, shining. You don't extinguish the light that's on somebody else.
Yes.
But I think narcissism is more like, oh, I'm shining.
You
don't
cannot.
have to.
Yeah.
I want to always be more superior. I would like to be able to control you.
So I feel like those type of people, they like to be around people that they can control, and
so that they could let you down. I feel I have a friend like that also, which I feel very difficult to speak to that person.
You want to talk more about that?
I find it difficult to talk about it. I realized his problems after I've spoken.
He's her problem.
He's her problem. Yeah, after a while, because I find it very difficult to talk to this person already. We have been friends for many years, but it is recently where something happened, something blew up, that I realized, whoa, my gosh, it's so difficult to talk to this person because he is so much of himself.
Too much.
Too much of himself. That means he's always right and everybody else is always wrong. Whatever you say that is actually a constructive criticism, that if you have self-love, you're able to accept, like, this is helpful, you know. Oh, probably I should work on this problem. Yeah, probably I have always been that way. Okay, let's work on it. But for him, it's like, no,
I'm not like that.
I'm not like that. Even if you tell him or her their flaws, really, they couldn't accept it at all. It is so hard how is the fastest trait to recognize narcissism,
Narcissism.
right, or narcissist, right? I think is when you are trying to carry a conversation, you feel very uncomfortable because everything you say
Is
he
wrong.
or she is always wrong, or is always weaker than what they are doing. And everything you do, right, they also know one. Like, I know lah. We talk about a certain song, or I think, I would like to share something with you. I think I did a good job in, accomplishing this project.
And
You
then
know,
the person
I like
will
to
go
share-
like,
small case lah. I have also done more than this. You
oh
know?
no,
You get
that's
what I
the
mean?
worst.
Like,
That's the
I've done this so
worst.
much. I don't know how much I've done last time in my company. It's actually a small thing. Now
That's
you've
the
done,
thing,
right?
that's
It's
the
just
thing.
10% of what I've done. But I'm like, I'm just trying to share my story with you. You are a friend of mine, right? Aren't we supposed to be talking, sharing, and encouraging one another? I'm happy for you. Why can't you do that? You know?
Why can't he, her, she?
Yeah, that. It was just a very simple 5-minute conversation.
And you're
in
like,
the
okay,
car.
you get that vibe, like, okay.
Across text is easier because you can just choose to ignore and then not talk to that person. But if you are having a real conversation, it's actually very difficult. And one thing about narcissism though, they don't seek for approval, but they want you to keep complimenting them. They want to feel good about themselves, like, I'm very good, right?
That's because they have low self-esteem. They need the constant boost, like a injection, like, okay, I ran out, so I need that boost from you. And I feel like the person keeps coming back to you. It's because you compliment a lot.
Yeah, words of affirmation.
Yeah, she
is
really compliments a lot, and I feel like the person knows who to pick because
Oh, really?
the person keeps coming back to you and knows that you will compliment him, her, she, it, they. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
So
Okay.
so
Probably that.
probably she sense it. It's really funny now.
Because I'm a very kind person. I don't know how to push somebody away because I feel like if I'm doing that, I'm not kind enough.
Then you don't have enough self-love, girl.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, you need that boundary, okay? Self-love is, I feel, okay, self-love is all about that boundary where you open up for people to enter into your life to a certain extent, and if you feel uncomfortable and you know that this will break your heart, this will break your soul, this will affect your mental state, then let the person out. I'm not telling you guys to cut off people, but it's more of like you don't take in.
I think this is a good point that you have mentioned because I'm actually a very friendly person. I'm passionate about life.
I'm friendly too.
Correct, but I didn't know that you could choose to unfriend your friends. I thought unfriend is just
Okay, maybe
a
not
choice.
unfriend, unfollow. You know, you know how Facebook you can actually unfriend or unfollow, so you can still be friends with this person, but you can still unfollow.
But again, I didn't know that we can choose to not befriend somebody. You could be friends, know somebody, could be an acquaintance or somebody that you know, but you don't have to let everybody to be close to you. You can choose. I'm actually learning, and I just realized that I could actually choose the people that I would like to allow to be in my heart.
Be intentional about it.
Yes, correct. I can actually, why not? I can choose people that I want to be close to. I would like to choose somebody that deserves my attention. Deserves to have a spot in my heart. I want to be able to be vulnerable in front of this person. You know, that's why they said when you age, right, the circle of friends
Get
that
smaller.
is close, get smaller, and the people that you actually allow them to get to know you, that you could cry on, and you're somebody that you could share or
Because
say
you guys don't have
nonsense.
much time for unnecessary things.
Yeah, that is one. And another thing is you want to keep people that's close to your heart and has a more superior position in your life. It doesn't mean that I didn't know that I could, if I cut off people in my life, right, that would be me being very mean. I thought so, I've always thought so. Until recently that I find out it's not healthy for me.
Yeah, you
Because
don't have
I'm
to
the
be
one-
mean to yourself just to accommodate to that.
Yeah, that's actually a great realization I had.
It's a very big realization.
It's a very big realization.
And I think that's because a lot of people post about it now. Like those,
true.
what is it called? Like toxic behavior, toxic boundaries.
Like you said, the word "it's okay." It's something that I've learned, and also with the friendship thing that I've just mentioned. It is so because I'm a people pleaser. I also didn't realize, until like you said, there's so many notes, quotes every day, inspirational here and there. When you open up your social media, it is then I realized that hey, I'm actually a people pleaser. I always try to say yes instead of no, and then it makes me feel very uncomfortable. It makes me feel unhealthy, unhappy to a certain extent because I'm the kind of person who, okay, I want to make peace, not war, I know that you have to love your neighbor as yourself, but then I realized that I don't love myself that much.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know?
that's why.
That's why. Then it's not valid already, that term.
Yeah.
You know, then I find out that it's okay to tell people off when it's necessary. I think it's good to do that.
Yep.
But before that, I didn't know I could do that. And because of that, I did lose some friends, you know. When you tell that person off, like, hey, I was upset that you did this to me. Some people can accept it, some people can't. But that's okay. Means if they can't accept it, they don't like you so much as a friend anyway. Right? They don't love you enough to understand that, and
Yes, because if they love you enough, they would know.
they would try to know.
They would
also.
try to understand.
Exactly. It's okay for a friend to apologize to each other.
Yeah.
I have a very, very good friend. She's older than me, but she's very loving. Oh, she's an incredible friend. I've learned so much
From her.
traits from her. She has so many great qualities. And then there was once I wouldn't. I think to me it was not offensive, but to her, it is actually something that is very closely related to her that breaks her heart. Probably if it was just a quick mention. So when she said, "Can you not say that to me?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she said that in front of everybody. I was quite offended at that moment. But after that, we brought it down. I
Okay.
said, personally, I said, hey, what did I say just now that really upsets you? Then she told me, she said, I had this incident before.
Oh,
Something happened in the
no.
past.
Okay.
I mean, it's not so nice to say it here, so I'll just quickly go through it. Then she said, the moment you mentioned that, it really broke my heart. So it's a defense mechanism. I'm sorry if I was harsh. Then I said, I'm sorry too. Yeah, then we apologized, and
That's a very
Great.
healthy way. That's
Very
a very healthy way
healthy.
to deal with it, because I feel like she loves herself enough and she loves you as well.
Yeah.
So she's standing up, in a way, she's standing up for herself.
yeah.
Okay, she's accepting that she's not okay with it, and she dared to confront, because some people just run away. I don't know why. Like when there's issues, they argue or they have any disagreements, they will just pull out from this friendship, this relationship, and not deal with it, because in a way they are defending.
Correct.
Okay, but they're actually facing, I feel like wherever the problem or the thing is not resolved, right, wherever you go, right, it will still come back. So she dared to actually confront to you, and you guys talked it out, you guys apologized, and that's how the friendship grew.
Yeah. It grows, actually.
It grows from
It
there.
blooms like this beautiful tulip over here.
Because it's not easy also. It's not easy because, yeah, she has the amount of love though.
She's very loving.
For
Yeah.
for you and for herself.
You know, sometimes it could be, like you said, right, fine line between self-love and narcissism. It is also another line when you're talking about self-love, selfless, and being selfish.
Oh yeah.
It's all very closely related also.
what is that line though?
Yeah, something happened, it could lead to any
Of
these
these.
possibilities. Yeah.
Yes.
Narcissism is another level that really is hurtful to the person who actually cares for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that way in any amount.
And that kind of people, I feel like it's very hard for them to grow, because they will never accept any flaws.
in a way, they also set their mindset to be like that already.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
It's because they already said that's why they're like that.
And they're always avoiding the situation that makes them feel uncomfortable. They don't want to deal with the problem.
That's why it's very different from self-love, where self-love is all about growth.
Oh,
We always
yeah.
want to grow. We want to take criticism. We want to take all these bad feedback so that we can be better. So for Pilates, it's like, it's okay that you cannot do this certain, posture in your first class because you grow from it. And of course, people around you, because I go for group classes, people around you will definitely look and stare like, oh, you can't do this. You're in the intermediate class though. Like, they have that stare. But for us, it's like,
Because she's very competitive herself. So
that's one thing.
What people say. She said, okay, if I can stretch my leg that far, I will go
I will
that
go
extent.
for it. Yes.
She will go for it. She's that kind of person.
So I feel like for self-love people, it's like we want to grow. We want to be a better version of ourselves. And because I am at this age where I can do a lot, I want to do a lot. I don't want to just settle for less and settle for anything, because I want to be a better version of myself. And that will bring me to the next question. Okay, what is self-love to you in different forms?
That's actually a very interesting question. It got me thinking. I think self-love, right, is being able to allow yourself to go free. I restrict myself a lot. I set a lot of boundaries for myself in my mind.
So you set boundaries for yourself and not for other people.
Yeah. That's why.
Okay.
That's one thing about not loving yourself enough. That's why I said I'm like a 50%.
I see.
I'm still getting there, crossing that
Maybe
line.
60 now. 60
Because
now.
I'm brought up that way. It's very difficult, because you learn to please, you learn to take care of people. Taking care of people means putting your need lesser first and putting their needs higher than yours.
But love your neighbor as yourself.
That's why this is actually a profound wisdom in the Bible.
It is.
It's not as plain as it seems.
Because last time we really thought like, oh, we just have to love our neighbors, love our enemies, and we neglect ourselves. But no, you have to have that same amount of love for your neighbors and yourself.
True.
So what is it for you?
So like I restrict myself, like I said. So I don't allow myself to enjoy that much. Because sometimes, because you were told that if you're enjoying too much leisure, like last time when I'm a freelancer now, so freelance means you don't work every day, right?
Okay.
When you're on a certain project, you grind, you work very hard. But sometimes when you get your day offs,
you want your
day
rest.
off.
Yeah.
But last time people would criticize, that means you're not productive enough,
The grind.
Yeah, you're not
culture.
productive enough, you're not efficient enough. You're just doing that much then? But it's actually not that. But that's an old school mindset. It's very outdated. So
oh my gosh.
That being said, right, I'm used to that kind of thinking. For me, getting a massage or getting beauty treatments, right, if it's too much, I'll feel like, but I need it. I know my body needs it. But I'll always second out saying that, am I getting too much massage this month? Beauty therapies, there's so many beauty therapies
spa
out
treatments.
there. Yeah.
I love hair treatments.
Oh, really? You do?
I love scalp treatments.
I've not really done that
I
before.
love scalp treatments. I would always go for it because I don't know, it's a way of
Very
self-love.
therapeutic. Yeah.
Because I need to get my head lighter. Like, I don't know, it just
That's
does
also
that
why
magic.
the beauty industry is blooming, because of us girls
Yes,
and their self-love,
love
too much
therapy.
pampering. But yeah, that being said, right, beauty treatments, am I doing this too much? Even when I use my sheet, I buy, we girls have a lot of facial mask sheet. So if I do more than twice a week or more than 3 times a week,
It's okay.
to me it was not okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, and even to an extent, right, I would be thinking, am I pampering myself too much?
Too much.
Am I being too nice? Am I wasting money? I know money is a concern,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Definitely, it is a concern.
But if you
to
afford that,
everybody.
why not?
Yeah, but aside from that, am I getting too much pampering? That is also a question I always have for myself. And naps, taking naps. Hey, to me it was a
It was me also.
Really?
Yeah, last time I hate people that take naps, and I hate myself from taking naps because I feel like I'm wasting my time, which is a wrong concept.
Yeah,
Because your body needs the rest.
that's why. Exactly.
You know how I woke up from that? There's one time where I was grinding like every day, non-stop. I only slept for like 6 hours per day. Some people can handle that amount of stress and things like that. And whenever I feel sleepy, I will take like 5 minutes power nap, wake up, go back to work and things like that. Then someone just came up to me and say, do you know that if you don't plan your nap time, you don't plan your sleep time, your body is going to take it for you.
Oh.
Your body will just break down for you.
Oh.
Because your body cannot handle that. And you want to do so much, but your body cannot. So if you don't plan it, your body is going to do it for you.
Your body also has a defensive mechanism.
Yes, it's a very biological thing. So that's why we actually need sleep. And we actually need all these rest in life.
It's true. I didn't want to admit that I was tired.
That's true.
I saw it as being productive. If you're taking
Efficient.
naps. Yeah, and then because old people used to do it, actually no lah. Until now also they still do it. So I had this in mind, thinking that only old people or weak people or unproductive people
Can
needs
sleep.
naps. But then again, nowadays nap is actually very good because it helps your wellness, well-being, and also it makes you prettier, beautiful, because it's better for your health, like you said.
Yes.
Body. So after MCO, right? So my husband once told me this. I said, I'm actually very tired. He said, just sleep lah. Why you don't want to sleep? I said, no. If I sleep means I'm taking my time away from working or even doing something productive. At least I've done something or I've learned something. Even watching a drama on its own, right? For a nice 30 minutes means you actually spend your time doing your interest. But sleeping means complete zero. You're taking the time to rest. But I didn't know that. He said this to me. He's always saying this to me. This is his exact words.
Okay.
When I'm resting, because my body is weak, I need to remember that I'm not wasting the day doing nothing. I'm doing exactly what I need to do. I am recovering and I am recuperating. You are doing something, which is
recovering.
Yeah,
That's true.
so whenever I ask, should I
nap?
then he will take this and then he will his words of wisdom.
It's true. Your body needs that rest.
So these are unnecessary struggles and inner conflicts, don't you think? Very funny. It is always myself that cage myself. I'm like a bird that flies into the cage itself.
Yourself.
Myself. It's
And you
my
lock
choice.
it up yourself.
That's why.
Okay.
It's just that I can choose to fly out or in, but it is a mind trap that you trap yourself to think that way.
Yes.
I think it's a gen thing also. You guys are doing well because you have that awareness. I was not aware until the recent.
I wasn't aware also until people tell me lah. So
True.
it's good
Social
to have.
media.
It's good to have a community that actually reminds you of little things like that, like all these small things that we tend to forget, and we hate ourselves from taking all these naps. I'm not sure why. So let's just end with this last question, okay, for today. If you have more time for yourself today, what will you be doing?
I think I will spend time with myself. To be honest, the best thing or the most comfortable thing that I really, really enjoy doing is to lie down on my couch and watch TV. That's it. I don't have to eat good food on that day. I don't have to have like a snack in hand, you know, like a whole package. No, I just have to lie down, feel comfortable, switch on my fan, just have my TV. That's all. I can do that whole day, and I find that very comforting. Again, the devil will attack and tell you you're wasting your time. You're
gonna shut the devil up, man.
That's right.
How do you shut it?
I find that, you know, being able to spend time doing things like this is a luxury.
It is.
Especially at my age right now. I'm in my 30s. You know, there's so many things to catch up in life. There's so many things that you want to do. Being able to enjoy in the presence of your own comfort is a luxury. Allowing yourself to believe in yourself is a belief, and feel comfortable is a luxury. I'm trying to put my priority. Even small things like this, I think it's actually quite important.
Yeah, but I feel like we always talk about priority, but they always say the priority is reflected on your calendar. So what is on your calendar is your priority. So if you actually prioritize yourself, like you said, you want to have the luxury to lie down on your couch, put that in your calendar.
I'm not a very calendar person. My calendars are for my work, my must-attend meetings and all.
But because we have to be intentional about it, because I feel like self-love is all about being intentional about yourself. You have to be very intentional.
Different way of doing things.
Yes. Self-love for me, if I have more time for myself today, I would, wake up early, make a cup of coffee for myself, go for Pilates, go for lunch myself, come back home, do house chores, and rest. That will be a form of self-love for myself, that I don't have to rush into anything.
Again, that's her personality. Everything has to have like a complete cycle.
Yes, I know. Hey, you don't mention that. I don't.
Start to the end. It has to have a process.
Yes. I learned it from my friend. That's because I'm an ENFJ. We need to follow our schedule. So if you tell me to not have any schedule, like what Queen said, just lie down there and no schedule, that would be a luxury for you. But for me, it will be a struggle. Yeah, that would not be comforting for me.
That's why she wants me to write everything down in the Google, in a calendar.
Yeah, calendar. I will always say, guys, send me your email so that I can, send Google invite.
I don't like that. My sister does that also. Last time.
Because we need that. If not, it will be a struggle for us. It will be very, very, very hard for us. Yeah, basically that.
Let's end it with like a word of advice and what we think overall after having this discussion. I think it's very interesting because it makes me realize a lot of different things. For me, self-love or maybe enjoying being yourself is to live at that very moment. Laugh if you want to. Allow yourself to cry if you want to. Of course, I understand that it's by circumstances when you feel comfortable, in that environment. It's to allow yourself to feel yourself at that moment. I feel it's that way also. It could be very embarrassing. Like, for example, myself, I still doubt, I still cry. I'm very good at explaining my thoughts.
Yeah, she's very good.
But allowing myself to be vulnerable is with people that I can trust.
Understand.
Correct?
Okay.
Self-love is also living that moment. Allowing yourself to believe in yourself, accepting flaws like what you say, and also not restricting yourself to enjoy what you have. Put your well-being above others, is it? Also like what you said. I think it's okay to be vulnerable. Allowing people to enter into your heart is also very important, because narcissism is not allowing anybody to be in your heart, to know you, your deepest self. But self-love allows people to into your heart. You're inviting people, and then you're sharing that love.
And that's the most important part of life as well. Because without that connection, you're not actually living.
Because if you're able to love yourself, you can love others better.
Yes.
You are a kinder person.
Definitely. Yeah. Because you'll be filled with so much love.
So much love. Self-love, a lot of love, and love to everybody. Make peace, not war.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes.
So
I hope you guys followed through our conversation.
Yes.
And keep thinking, when you're listening through.
Yeah. So every day, be intentional about your choices, guys.
Intentional about
For example, like here, like, subscribe, and follow our channel.
We'll see you guys again when we can. Bye.
Bye.